Hello everyone, welcome to the cinema. Today, we will analyze the plot of the first two episodes of the criminal miniseries of 2022, The Weak Hero. Yang Xian is a closed-off high school student who has no friends at all. Xian devotes almost all his time to his lessons and is the best student in the class, but his classmates bypass the closed-off guy. In the same class, Chong Yong-bin, a hooligan, is studying, who does not try too hard, but thanks to a living mind, he is quite easily given a school program. The teacher announces that Xian took the first place at the school math Olympiad, but the class does not react. However, when the teacher gives Yong-bin a diploma for the third place, at first the hooligan's friends begin to applaud, and then the rest of the school children join them. As soon as the teacher goes beyond the threshold, Yong-bin and his friends begin to mock and laugh at the weak guys. Yong-bin is infuriated by the botanist Xian, and he decides to teach him a lesson, but for some reason the guy does not react to the threats of the hooligan. Yong-bin continues to hit the botanist when the guys from the senior class with baseball bats in their hands run into the office and demand to call on Suho. Several athletes immediately attack Suho, who flirted with the girl, their leader. However, Suho easily gives resistance to the athletes, since in the past he participated in fights without rules. Despite the numerical advantage in the bats in the hands of the older guys, they have to leave the office with shame. Returning home, Xian shows his father his diploma for the first place at the Olympics, and he, of course, is proud of his smart son. The boy's father is very busy at work and is constantly absent on business trips. Xian lives with his father since his parents are divorced, and he feels incredibly lonely. The guy with longing watches a video with his mother, who works as a math teacher on remote learning. In the morning, Xian is the first to enter the office, where he sees Suho sleeping behind the desk, who, after school, constantly works until late to deliver ready-made dishes from the restaurant. Xian cannot find his sneakers, which Yong-bin hid, and he is in a hurry to the inappropriate shoes for a physical education lesson. The botanist is not very good at physical training, so he runs a long distance with the last of the guys in the class. After the physical education lesson, Xian approaches Yong-bin and his friends and demands to stop chasing him. The hooligan, not wanting to endure such insolence, begins to strangle the botanist, but he is stopped by a teacher. The teacher is the class of a new student, Bumsock, who moved to them from another school because the hooligans were mocking him. However, the school children do not know about this yet. The hooligans decide to immediately process the newcomer, but then Xian appears, who demands that Yong-bin get off his desk. The hooligan wants to hit the impudent, but Suho stops him, who is prevented from sleeping by loud conversations of classmates. In the evening, the hooligans hang out in the nightclub, where Cheon Sok-dae, Yang, Bin's cousin, brings them a drug for which the guys are ready to pay well. Yong-bin learns from his cousin that if he applies fentanyl to the skin of his neck, he will cause fogging of consciousness, deterioration of vision, and even blindness. The next day, Yong-bin calls Bumsock to the corridor for a conversation and orders to stick a strip of fentanyl on Xian's neck, threatening to tell everyone how the newcomers were mocked at school. Bumsock is very afraid of this and agrees. Returning to the office, Bumsock sticks a strip of fentanyl to Xian's neck, lying that he killed a mosquito that sat on the guy. The guys pass an important exam, and Xian quickly loses concentration, and everything starts to float in front of his eyes. Soon, the guy starts to feel nauseous, and he runs to the toilet. Returning to the exam, Xian discovers a sticky strip on his neck and beats himself on the cheek several times to get a feeling. After a while, the seniors check their answers, and Xian finds a bunch of wrong answers on his sheet. Realizing that it was Yong-bin's doing, the senior grabs the textbook and beats the bully on the face, and his friend puts his hand in his palm. While the others can't come to their senses, Xian violently beats Yong-bin and breaks his nose. Suho stops Xian and decides that this is enough for the bully. Xian rushes to his classmate with a chair, but the trained fighter easily reflects all his attacks. The fighting stops when the teacher enters the classroom. Yong-bin gets to the hospital with a broken nose, where the teacher soon brings Xian to apologize to the classmate. The bully's mom shouts that she will sue Xian. Then the guy shows a strip with a strong substance that he was poisoned with at the exam, and then shakes out the bully's backpack, in which the fentanyl package is found. To cover up the incident, Yong-bin is transferred to another school and is not given a statement. When Xian returns home, his father immediately sees that his son had a fight at school. However, his father believes that this is quite normal at his age. The next day at school, the bullies want to take revenge on Xian for the wounded hand and say that they will wait for him after class. The guy replies that he is ready to talk right now and leads the bullies to the toilet, where he closes the door from curious classmates and takes out the same pen. Xian threatens to attack the bullies, and they, remembering what happened yesterday, do not dare to move. The guy repeatedly asks to leave him alone and leaves. In the corridor, classmates congratulate Xian on the victory over the bullies, but the guy does not share their enthusiasm since the guys have been bypassing him all this time, and now they decided to become his friends. Soktae visits his cousin in the hospital and agrees to teach the arrogant bully if Yongbin pays him well for it. Xian studies until late, and in the evening he goes home by bus. Unexpectedly, Suho notices him, who, as usual, works in delivery. Xian learns that his classmate has to combine study with work because he lost his parent and lives with one grandmother. Suho often sleeps at school behind the desk because he is afraid to oversleep the lessons while staying at home. The next morning, Xian approaches the sleeping Suho, apologizes for attacking him with a chair because he was angry at that moment, and offers to treat his classmate to lunch. The guys have lunch together, begin to communicate, and understand that despite the big differences, they have a lot in common. Leaving the hospital, Yongbin, first of all, finds his cousin and asks to fulfill his request as soon as possible. Soktae, at this time, is collecting other people's debts from teenagers as he is ready to take any dirty job just to be paid well for it. After the lessons, Bomsok asks Xian for forgiveness for the setup at the exam, but the guy is not going to accept the apology of his classmate. Unexpectedly, Soktae comes up to Xian with the hooligans and takes him with him. Bomsok sees this and immediately runs to Suho, but the schoolboy asks not to be touched, going to get a good night's sleep. Then, Bomsok offers to pay the fighter decently for help, and this argument sounds incredibly convincing. The hooligans put Xian in a cellar where they are going to beat him up, but the botanist thinks through every step, chooses the right moment, and gives resistance to the scum. Xian wants to leave, but Soktae can't do it so easily. The hooligans attack the guy again, and Yonbin is going to take revenge for his broken nose and exclusion from the school, breaking the botanist's fingers on his hand. Unexpectedly, Suho appears, who throws the hooligans aside and enters into a one-on-one fight with Soktae. Xian opposes the hooligans, and Yonbin is going to break a bottle around his head, but the guy is saved by Bomsok. Soktae understands that the hooligans are stronger than him and just leaves, and the hooligans follow him. Xian doesn't touch Yambin and once again asks the hooligans to leave him alone. After what happened, the three high school students get closer. Suho takes his friends to the restaurant, where he works part-time. The guys help Suho to do his duties in the kitchen, and then they have dinner together and discuss what happened. If you want to see the continuation of the series about the weak hero, write about it in the comments. Thank you for watching, and see you soon.